complete and utter shit. But same thing, we expanded higher, broke these highs. Obviously, I am going to expect to pull back into the equilibrium. So that's where I do expect price to go. It's just a matter of really not having the best price action play off of on the lower time frame there. As far as gold, let's look at gold. Gold, obviously, we're still within this bearish leg. Did we have a pullback? Let's analyze this. No, but even then, we just had a pullback here. I am bearish. If you guys remember yesterday, remember I told you I was bearish on gold? Who remembers that? Who remembers when we were looking for long-term shorts on gold? I believe it was here. We're waiting for price to come back here like this to enter shorts. Price just kind of sold off without us into our targets. If you remember, our target was it this low? Yeah, it was the daily low. So price did come down and do exactly what I wanted it to do, just no entry. Now that we're coming back up, we're facilitating the pullback of this entire range now. Obviously for sells, we could just sell off here. If I'm playing longer term sells, I want to wait for a break of the structure and then play more of a 5 minute, but that's longer term. If we're looking for a scalp, we could possibly scalp this 1 minute here. Obviously we still need some type of setup, but we see from this low to this high, we did break the structure. So we could play some type of pullback if price breaks some type of internal structure, and we just play a short-term sell here. But I think the bread and butter here, hopefully today, is NAS. As long as NAS doesn't just shoot up deep, and we do end up seeing some downside here, it's looking beautiful. Do you know Dexter is a new black arrow? It's not rad, Tim. Sorry. How you guys been though? Did my mic get fucked up? I actually hit it. Let's get everyone over to join up. I believe we're doing one more day of the sale, guys. If you guys have not yet, we're doing one more day of the 40% off. Go click this link now. Use code BA40 on the new platform types, which is Black Arrow. That's the new platform. You can trade it on your phone. You can copy trade. Go get 40% off before that gets taken away today. Last chances, guys. Last chances there. Here's that link, BA40, if you want to get a funded account, 40% off. Like 50Ks are like $50. I got an account, fire Tim. But yeah, I'd say, you know, start with a 5K. I mean a 50K, sorry. You know, even if it's just to get used to it. Luke also did drop a video, it kind of explaining most of it down, or breaking it down. It's pretty self-explanatory though. You know, I had no familiarity with this platform. Got it, came in, and I was pretty much able to understand it, especially if you understood DX trades, guys. You should understand this. Super simple as far as quantity of contracts, buy market, sell market, all that, okay? And again, don't forget that you guys can do bracket orders. If you press custom, you can have a bracket order based off ticks, based off cash, and based off percentage. Okay, so if you want to risk 1% of your account, you can put 1%, or you can press percent and press how much you want to risk percentage and how much you want to gain percentage wise, or cash or ticks, whatever you want. Just so you guys know. Just so you guys know. Did I not see DAX? What do you mean? Oh no, did DAX fly? I'm in a DAX swing position right now. I'm in drawdown right now. I'm in a big play here. But my stops are at these highs for a reason. Price can come deep. I'm still expecting price to dip off hard, but it looks like we have some news. $50 per month. Yeah, but if you pass it, you're good. If you pass in that first month, don't gotta pay the second month. So what's DAX on futures? I forget the name of it, but in most cases you're not gonna find DAX on any futures broker. I mean not broker, futures platform. Are mo coach, haha, huh? She's haircut looking thing. Thank you. Honestly, I'm not a fan of it. Not a fan of it. It's too short. Where do you trade at? I trade on Legacy. So if you want to check out Legacy, that's one of the platforms I trade at. that's the main platform I trade on, and I also mostly trade live accounts as well. Like when it comes to DAX and UK 100, I trade live accounts. Okay, when it comes to NAS, US 30, and gold, typically funded. Gold, I did take gold on my live account the other day, apps or last week. Fucking banger. The website for Legacy is not working. It's working for me. Click the link I just sent. Try it. All right, guys, we have that 7 o'clock. We're going to see a little bit of volume here. Looking for gold buys now. Fire. I'm actually not looking for gold buys. I think price is still in some type of bearish trend here. You know, what do we see on the lower time frames here? We saw price previously bullish, creating higher highs and higher lows. We had this higher high made. We came down and broke this higher low, made a lower low. Okay, from there we had a pullback of that new bearish leg, and then what do we do again? We broke lows back to the downside. So I'm actually still very favored in sells here. Obviously, this is gold, and gold can do what the fuck it wants, and it just could just absolutely rally here, 100%. But just looking at it from a technical standpoint, I'm still heavily on the side of sells. I'm not just going to take sells from here. I'd love for a confirmation on lower time frames to catch a better entry with better RR. Thanks for analysis. Of course. Again, we're just waiting for NAS at this point. Again, the idea with NAS is since we are within this bearish leg, we had a pullback of the bearish leg. I'd love to see us break these lows. That'd be ideal. Pullback of that new internal leg, and we shoot sells to the lows. Obviously, the reason I'm waiting for a break of structure here and not just selling, like I could sell here, and honestly, it would still be a good trade because of the idea that this leg's bearish and we should end up continuing lower. So we could hop in right now. We really could. We're just going to be playing a really big stop loss. I mean, 100-point stop loss on the 1 minute time frame is pretty nuts. And two, again, price may just end up staying bullish within this trend here. Okay, there was actually even opportunity here for it looks like a pullback trade. If we were on here earlier, what did we do? Okay, we came up, we broke this internal high. After having this sell-off and breaking internal structure, we know that price can pull back, and what indicates that is these internal breaks of structure, which we see. We mark up that leg, price pulled back into equilibrium. We would have entered there, pushed up higher. Okay, I don't know if this one gave an opportunity here. Came very close to another entry. If we're into it's a for sure. Rip to the jar. I'll be missed. Legit dropped my jar on some bullshit. Wait, what? There is no Rexy indicator on the black arrow mobile app. When I go to the indicator and type in rectangle, it doesn't pop up. Does it not? Yeah, we may not have I found the rectangle here. I don't know if it's just on mobile, you can't find it. I found the tool. Yeah, you might just have to go to your settings, Christian. What up, Luca? What up, G? Luca's in the building. How's this week been going for you guys? All your Asia sessions, London, New York. Of course, he dedicates the game. My question is, we buy the account for BA40. Does it continue to be that price? And then next month is just regular price. That I'm not 100% sure on, Pedro. I am not. So I'm not going to answer you without being 1,000% sure. Um, I believe Luca can answer that though. Either way, um, Pedro, truly, like I'm not saying it can't take you a month to pass an account, but typically it does it take a month, and sometimes it does, but where do you see the open options in Black Arrow? What do you mean open options? Are we gonna sell on gold? I would love to get sells on gold here. Um, Currently right now I'm not seeing much. Like even internally, this isn't a good internal low for me to play. I would more or less love to play a swing trade here on gold. Like we could just hop in sells here and hold this shit overnight. Okay, just from right here. A little bit deeper within premium, but that's fine. Um, but gold just a little bit different. Like I don't know, I'm not a swing trader on gold myself. I just like catching these little quick positions on gold. So if it's not a pullback of this leg, or it's just waiting for this leg to be broken and then just actually playing a more of a longer term trade, then so be it. But I think Nas is going to give, hopefully. Nas is slowly making its way down here. I'm hoping that it isn't just facilitating a pullback of this previously bullish leg to go higher, and it just kind of destroys this to the downside. And again, if you guys actually watched my new video, um, I go over how like you can use like my system, or like you can use my idea of multi-time frame analysis to trade however you guys want. Like you guys don't have to um, enter how I enter. You know, like let's say there's a fair value gap here. Let's say you're inverse fair value gap trader. We inverse this fair value gap. Great. Guess what? You know, potentially price could just rip to these lows because that's my expected target based off the idea that we're already bullish. I mean bearish on the higher time frame. And if we look to the even higher time frame, we need a higher time frame pullback. So like again, like with just the understanding of higher time frame and multi-time frame analysis, you guys can trade IFVGs too. You guys can also trade breakouts. You guys can wait for a breakout of this low and take it. You know, one thing that's been happening a lot to us this week is like I'm waiting for my setup, price break structure, which that's what we want, and then it just rips without us. That's been happening a lot, which obviously I can't do nothing to avoid that. I'm not going to just enter to enter. That's not what trading is. But obviously I've been talking about how like maybe that could be an entry for me because it's still the same ideology as far as understanding multi-time frame analysis. It's just with a different entry model, especially if price has just been taken off without us and not giving us the break retest to then find a better entry. Thank you, Greg. Thank you, Greg. Not gonna lie, there was some quick sells in here too, guys. Internal leg right here, expanded higher, rebroke to the downside, 50% entry, pull back into the 50% of this bullish leg. We could have taken that. I just realized that. It would have just been like a 1-1 almost, but I would look it up, Christian. Sometimes it's something that's like blocking it in your Chrome settings or your Safari settings, whatever you're using. Um, Sometimes it just blocks websites and stuff. Or you can go use AI and it usually helps you a little bit better as far as asking it questions. Can I change DX for Black Arrow? Well, if you already started that DX account, I would continue to just trade DX. Hopefully you pass that account and then you could just buy a Black Arrow one. Um, that's what I would do because DX is still a great platform. Like it really is. Black Arrow is also great, but they're both great in their own ways. Pretty similar too. Wait, can you say it again? Because I can record it to show my parent. person also tried using AI. So it's most likely, Christian, something within your um, Chrome settings or your Safari settings, whatever your web browser is, um, or it could be your desktop settings. The connection was reset. Check your internet connection. Check the proxy. Yeah, something on your fire was blocking it. I would send that same exact image that you just sent to chat into AI and tell them that that's what you got when you try to open up a website and see what AI tells you and then go from there. I'm doing good, Tim. How are you doing? I'm doing good, Tim. I'm just a little pressed about this week so far because this week has been very slow. You know, yesterday on London was the first time that we got a good setup on stream. The first setup just wicked us out and kept going. Again, thankfully we got back in, at least went break even, and caught some profits. But it's just like shit like that like it's just been happening, or price running without us. So like almost every single day this week so far, we've had a good setup. We know where price is gonna go, and price goes that direction just without tapping us in. So it's been one of those weeks, but I can't complain. Still alive, still here, still trading, you know. So what do you listen to? Gold could present us with something right now, guys. I would love to see price come back up real quick though, retake these highs as some side of type of liquidity sweep, and then come back down to break. If that doesn't happen, I'm not taking it. Been very picky on that in those cases because a lot of the setups that um, do usually lose are the setups that aren't retaking highs. Like in this case here, I guess we retook these highs, like these smaller highs, but I would love to see price come back up, either re-break or just sweep these highs and then come back down as like a form of some type of liquidation from these highs. So I know that price has less reasons to come back up if we were to just like enter sales now or without that liquidity sweep. US 30 is looking bullish as well here, kind of massive fucking gap. But just within like this leg here, it looks like we are kind of creating some type of pullback where we broke some internal highs. Okay. Had a pretty big deep pullback of this range, but it looks like we're kind of expanding now. And maybe we catch something on US 30 as well. This internal structure isn't ideal. Not the most ideal. But like a leg we'd play would be this higher, back into these highs. And truly into that equilibrium. I might take 30. I just don't like the lack of liquidity that was taken, to be honest. But direction is very strong, I do believe, for buys here. How's the session going? Not too bad so far, just kind of waiting. I'm anticipating US 30 buys here. I don't think so. You're down 8 pounds. That's not bad at all, depending on how many trades you've taken. US 30 is YM, correct. You're 100% correct there. Probably risk half on this account. NAS is going higher. US 30 looks like it's wanting to push here. Same with gold. So I'll look to capitalize here if we can get entry. Again, this trade here does have most confluences checked off. We did take some liquidity of like prior lows like here. So it's not terrible when it comes to like the liquidity of taking it there, expanding higher. It's gonna look like shit because we're yeah. Makes sense. Is that even the right YM? I think it's this one. Coach, I can activate my account legacy if I pass my ULs, like nothing pops up when I click complete. Go ahead and make a ticket. If it's giving you difficulties, go ahead and make a ticket. You scroll down in the legacy Discord, and right under the AMA stage, it says help desk. In help desk, go ahead and click help desk and then create open ticket. And then they'll make sure to score things away with you and make sure you're all set up and you're good to go. Here we go. Better. Still not the best how it looks here just because it's not prime session, but I will be hopping in here, guys, with most likely 9 cons for buys at this level here. Hopefully for the first trade of Asia this entire week, hopefully we absolutely smack here. Gold, I mean, Nasdaq, it looks like it may not give us what we want. Gold still kind of, I mean, we could still take gold too. Actually, no, I want to see it sweep that high either way. So we'll just be YM today. I'm not in anything just yet. I'll tell you guys when I do get entered in, or when I do take entry. I'm not in just yet, guys. Still haven't tapped. I need to go get a massage. Fucking ads. What's up, YouTube? Sorry, I haven't been paying attention to you guys. Alright, guys. I am gonna go ahead and hop into these buys. Stops are at these lows down here. Okay. Stops are all the way at these lows. We're getting a decent amount of volume in, but I am gonna take buys here. Bigger stop loss, and or is that the right stop loss? Yeah, still not bad here. Entry seems a little wonky here though. Oops, let's delete that. Delete that. Either way, we're in buys here, guys. We're in buys. We're just looking for price to get to these highs. We can go to break even once price reclaims these highs. That's the overall idea. Maybe take partials, but I'm honestly expecting price to push back up into these highs if price does want to continue to remain bullish here. If it doesn't want to continue to remain bullish, obviously we're going to lose this trade. No doubt about that. It's either or at this point. That's how I trade, guys. I mean, we could go like with me, it's either we win the trade or we lose. And for me, obviously winning is pulling profits out. But once we hit these highs, and at that point, I'll say, okay, like that's the only time that I'm allowed to do anything else other than lose. And meaning like I don't want to lose, but like I'm just saying I will keep this trade open no matter how long it plays out for. It's either hits my stop loss or hits first take profit, and I can move to break even appropriately. So But risk appropriately, guys. Please don't risk stupidly. It's the worst thing you can do, especially because even though this is a good trade and we do expect higher prices, doesn't necessarily mean price is going to hold here. Again, what happened last night during fucking London session? We had a very good setup. Where was it? Of course, I can't find it now. I went too far, I think. It was 30, right? Why can't I find it, man? Is it like tucked in here somewhere? Why am I, did I delete it? I did, didn't I? Forgot what it was. Was it this trade? Why am I like totally not finding it? Or was it Nasdaq? Am I stupid? And it was Nasdaq? It was Nasdaq. So again, just like Nasdaq last night, you know, we had a beautiful trade. Obviously, I'm still risking appropriately because again, in this case here, what did price do? Price gave us the picture perfect setup. We entered, price swept us out. Okay. And in this case, price literally just whipped us out to go back higher. Okay. So in this case, you don't want to over risk on your first trade because, like in this case, I did take the second entry because it was still a good entry, still validated, and it was to make the money back from this loss. And if I were to have over risked on this trade where I can't trade again, then obviously I couldn't have taken the second trade and I would have just been sat at a loss. So that's why it's very important to make sure that you guys are always risking correctly just in case things go sideways. If we lose here though, crashing out. Because this has been like just the slowest week for me. Hasn't been a terrible week. Like that's the thing. It has just has. Can you go over the trade you're taking today? Yeah, I'll go over the trade. Yes, on YM. How many contracts? I'm currently running 9 contracts, but that's for about $800 risk, I believe. I think I had I entered in a little bit too early, so my entry's a little pushed on where it should be. But breaking down the trade. So someone asked from YouTube, super simple breakdown here. Okay. Well, first things first, we know that price can come lower here to facilitate the pullback. That is our one thing that's against us. We may be too early in the sense of price is ready to just continue its pullback now, and we may be stuck a little bit too early. Okay, we may lose this trade, but the whole idea behind this trade is like if we were just playing the internal structure for today's session, what do we see? We see a bearish leg that expanded lower, breaking internal structure. We see the internal structure of this newly formed bearish leg shift internally bullish, which we know how price moves. We know price moves in waves. So with that idea in mind that price is bearish, we still need a pullback. And typically we will see these pullbacks before the continuation of sells or before price buys up, whatever it is. But in this case, it'd be before the continuation of sells. So since we saw price shift internally bullish, had a pullback, shifted internally bullish within this structure, that's given us the idea that, okay, probability wise, buys are more favored here. If I was selling here, I'm not necessarily wrong for selling because, again, the higher time frames like the 15-minute and 30-minute say sells are better from those perspectives. But I would be kind of wrong to just be selling here because the probabilities right now for the next hour, I'd say, or until price tells us otherwise, is for buys. We're internally bullish. We're trading within this internal bullish trend from a 30-second perspective, okay, where we're seeing higher highs, higher lows, and then we can even break it down to the fractal time frame, where even the fractal time frame is what? Coming up, breaking highs, and creating this fractal internal bullish trend, where if a bunch of trends are lining up and confluences are giving us the idea that buys will most likely take place, that's what gives me the indication to take buys. Okay, obviously my system and my entry model, but what it's really about here is probabilities. Like that's the biggest thing that I can say, guys. If you guys aren't trading with probabilities, and you're just entering to enter, I don't like, I don't want to say you're wrong, but you're wrong. Like it'd be worse if like I was entering this trade just because I felt like it was going to win. No, I'm entering this trade because the probabilities tell me that I have a better chance of winning this than I do losing this. Obviously, just like any trade, I could still lose this. That's why at the beginning of every single trade, I always preach to you guys, please risk with good risk management. Don't over risk on one trade because even though probabilities are in our favor, we could still lose. That's why I showed you guys the Nasdaq trade from last night. Okay, because even though we had a good trade, I risked appropriately, and guess what? It was because in case we lost the first setup, we lost the first setup, and then I just bounced back up, took the same setup, right back to back next to it, caught that one, and was able to capitalize. Okay, so very important when it comes to all those details. What's the TP level? It would be 53,713. I'm kind of mad to be honest because where I got entered in at, we are gonna make nothing on this fucking trade. I don't know if I just fat fingered early or something, or when there was like a fluctuation of price and it just gave me a bad entry. Because realistically, we're in decent profit. Like, but at least once we get a break even, I'm just gonna move to break even no matter what the case may be. So hopefully we continue to see expansion here. Don't get excited too soon, guys. Obviously, like we're back into some profits here. If you guys at any point in time, remember, if you guys want to take partials, feel free. My stop loss is at 53,686. Okay, 53,686. But I was gonna say again, guys, like yeah, we pushed in some profits here. Don't get excited too soon. I've seen trades come here and still lose. I've seen trades obviously come back down here and still win. So just let it play out. But at any point in time, if you guys, we push back into profits, you guys want to take partials, take partials. Just because I'm not taking partials doesn't mean you can't pay yourself. Okay, I just have a different way of approaching things. So got a little bad entry, but not the worst. Yeah, mine was not the best. TP is 714. Yes, 713, 714. Let's see if anything else is playing out, guys. Gold is going down. And again, I did tell you guys, I do expect gold to go down, but I just wanted price to give us a better liquidation before looking for any type of possible entry. As far as NAS still kind of looks like it may hold within this bullish leg, which is understandable because we are still internally bullish. So that could just continue to play out. And then once we get deeper into this bearish leg, we could then see the exhaustion come in and price start to come down here. Yeah, it's just why I think it's the time. I think the time really has is a big impact on it. Because it's never like that during New York. So yeah, it is all YMs. But fuck it, we still bought, still not terrible. I think we're going to week low, short the Dow. You've got a great way of teaching it. Thank you. I'm glad you said that. If you guys didn't know, again, I am in Discord as well, with a bunch of people. If you guys want to join that, but we're pushing here, guys. So again, like I said, we're back into some profits. I'm not doing anything until we hit this high, personally. But if you guys want to cut partials, do whatever you want to do. Secure some bread. Do what you need to do. What's going on here? Okay, there. Just took some time. Yeah, so this is what happens when we trade YM during Asia and London. Sometimes it just looks a little wonky. Versus New York, New York looks perfectly fine. But I actually sometimes will dabble in US 30 a little bit after 6:30 open. It's pretty good. Where's my Discord, Telegram? So if you click my name and in my bio, you can join my free community. If you could do that for me and tell me if it works. Tell me if that link even works. And like you can see all the chats and stuff. Looking for this 15-minute to flip here, guys, hopefully. I did set the link to never expire. Did it expire? Nah, but like my Discord got fucked. That's why like chats weren't showing up for people. We're seeing some downside again here, guys. Truly on our next push, guys, if we end up re-pushing back to these highs, I'll probably go to break even sooner than what I normally do. Just because it's YM and it's Asia session. I really don't want to deal with it if it's going to give us a lot of chop here. Yeah, anything can happen. Like we can still sell off here, guys. Like again, I'm in this to be in this. If we end up coming back down to stop loss, that sucks. But that's just what happens. Again, this week, I'm not expecting a lot more to come out of this week, guys. I'm really not. Like obviously as I go into tonight, I'll still be trading, guys. And seeing if, anything can come out of Nasdaq or gold during London. But this week already has just been like filled with just price running without us on really good setups that we have, and we're just not able to take them. And the trades that we are taking, like last night, are getting liquidated early. This one's kind of just chopping here, not really giving us any good movement, but it is YM during Asia. So, I mean, I'm understanding of that. You can't have a loss. Well, that's a lot of pressure, man. That's the one thing is like, I understand when you guys come here to try to recover your accounts, and that this trade could win. I'm anticipating a win here just due to probabilities, but again, anything can happen here. Where like anything can happen. You can lose. I mean, not anything. Like you're not gonna die. Um, it's just the time. I think, Joe. It's just a session. I think. I have the same thing, kinda. Well, mine no, but here, yes. You can see the same thing. So does Luca. Everyone kind of has it. Hey, I trust you though. Well, I'm glad you trust me, but I just need to see price do something here. The bad thing is like if I were to move to break even once price reclaims these highs, it's just kind of it's I don't know. Like it looks like I did get very similar entries to where I wanted to enter. It just hopefully we see price just continue to rip here, guys. Confused what's going on right now. Why? Hopefully, Krish, hopefully we can just get an expansion here. I do expect these highs to be taken. I do. Um, we could go to break even now, guys, but just seeing how price was already like really choppy, I have a feeling price could push down here and then still regain. Where we could just be taking out break even too early on a winning trade. So even if price, like you guys can take some partials here if you guys got a good entry. I'm not going to take any partials where I'm at right now. It's just not really worth it. But you guys can if you want. Again, even 50 bucks is still good, you know. Secure partials, move to break even. I'm not doing it full transparency just because price may hit this and still rally back up. But if we just get a rally here, hopefully we can secure break even. And then even at these highs, I may take partials just to make sure we secure some profits and just let the rest run potentially. What do you think of gold? So I actually did like sells on gold. Okay. I told you guys I really like the sells of this bullish internal leg to tap this. Truly, here's the thing with gold is like gold could tap this and continue going higher within the internal trend. But the higher time frame trend on gold is very heavily bearish. I honestly kind of want to hop into a trade here and play it overnight. All of Asia and overnight. I honestly wouldn't mind it because I expect price to continue its dip down due to the idea that this higher time frame needs a pullback. Okay, and we could dip down hard here. So I really do like the idea of a longer term sell. We could wait for like the internal confirmation as far as price disrespecting this leg, breaking this level, and then giving us entry because at that point we know for a fact we're not bullish. Because again, like we could enter right now and price still reacts higher and higher and higher, and maybe it does end up failing and we lose. So, but I think sells on gold are definitely going to be a longer term play. What are we doing here? We're still chopping around, man. Come on. I'm tired of this fucking chop. Okay, now if we come back up and re-break these highs, I'll for sure move to break even, guys. Even though it's a little bit premature than what I usually like to do, at that point, I just don't see why price would come back down if we re-broke those highs now. And if it did, I would assume it's coming down for good. We're kind of following along closely with Nas. So, what is the biggest trap for new traders? Biggest trap for new traders. I think the worst thing that a new trader can do, and I don't know if it's a trap, I guess revenge trading, but consuming too much information. Like again, everyone trades different in some way, shape, or form. So like if you're consuming content from me, Mark, Chris, Luca, Mamba, Emmett, all of us, and you're trying to apply all of our strategies at once, like I'm not saying it's not gonna work, but it's just like there's just too much information coming in for you to focus on one thing because all of them work individually, all of our systems. Okay, so you don't need all of them, but when you consume all of them, then this is what starts happening. So if you're trading with me and you're trading my system, okay, and obviously I'm bullish here, we're looking for buys, but let's say you remember Mark's system or Chris's system or something and sells look better and you hesitate out of buys because of the fact that you remember Mark's system and it looks good for sales, which is great because maybe it saves you from a loss. But what if I do end up winning and you ended up staying out of a win because of the fact that you allowed other information and other external factors outside of the system you're trading right now to affect your analysis on the current position that you're going to take? Me and Luke have very similar strategies. Yes, very similar. But like I always say, like everyone is like every trader is always different in some way, shape, or form. Like we're all different in our own ways as humans. And I think with everything, it's different. I think you can have the same ideologies, the same concepts and stuff like that. Yes, 100%. But price needs to fucking push up here. If we got hoed where we got played like this into profit twice and we just dump off and lose here, crash out coming to London. I just want price to push back up to these highs and we can go to break even because I'm tired of this chop, especially because like I just like these quick plays, quick reactions of price. If you could teach one lesson, what would it be? Journaling. I would always go back to teaching people about journaling. I think journaling and data collection is the most important thing when it comes to taking trading long term. Again, you don't have to, but I'll be brutally honest with you. Like if you're not journaling, like you almost have to ask yourself, like if that's what majority of these big time traders preach, and you're not journaling, do you even want it bad enough? Like, are you really taking it serious? And I think journaling is one big step towards taking it serious, like taking trading serious and actually going somewhere with it, because you're actually now looking deeper into why you're losing, and why you're winning, and actually seeing, like your true data and your true flaws and your even not your flaws, even your strengths and stuff like that. You'll look at gold. Yeah, we finally hit that level. I mean, I'm not going to just buy off this level because of the higher time frame context telling us sells. At this point, we're just kind of have to wait there. But we're still in US 30, guys. We're just kind of waiting here. Hopefully we get this. I just want one last push into these highs, guys, and then I'm break even. And I'm just going to let it run at break even because I'm tired of this chop waiting game. Are you thinking gold buys overnight? No, I'd prefer gold sells overnight, if anything. Gold sells overnight. Of course, Joe. All right, guys, we're at break even. Or I'm just going to put my shit right there for a $90 loss. Because the chart looks a little fucked up right now. It's just Asia, guys. It has nothing to do with Black Arrow. It's doing it for everyone, okay? This looks better here because it's forex.com. It's not actual true CME data. But we are pretty much at a little bit under break even. I wish I could see the charts a little bit better here, guys. Obviously, this doesn't do it for everything. But we are going to break even premature. That could hurt us here, guys. Like, price could still run higher here, but I just don't like how we're constantly trying to take this high, and repeatedly failing at that. So that's just not something I like to see. Well, I got taken out break even, guys. I didn't even see price come down, to be honest with you. That was fucked. Well, break even trade, guys. I'll take it. Okay, again, it was US 30. We were playing it during Asia, which is not very typical of us, but obviously price still has room to run here, guys. It does. I just did not like how we continuously tried and tried and tried 3 times and got nowhere with it. So at that point, price is giving us like the idea of exhaustion at this level. So we could just see price zip down here, especially because what have we been doing here? I'd be out of break even. I'm out of break even. You guys don't have to be, but truly, what have we been engineering down here as well? A bunch of liquidity. As you can see, price continuously reacted off this level, or continued to react in like a trend like matter, where there was a bunch of sell orders here, where price is most likely going to come down, take those sell orders. It could rally back up from there. Okay. But I'm just ready to get out of this trade. So break even day, at least right now. Let's see if there's anything else we can take. But I'm not going to complain. I think it was a good call exiting a little bit early right there. Obviously, it may not be a good call if price comes back up without hitting original stop, but yeah, YM was lagging a little bit. It does that on sometimes the super low time frames and out of session like this. Like usually NQ's better and gold's obviously super fine, but with NAS, I still like NAS sells, guys. And now that NAS is coming down too, I can almost expect YM to come down with it a little bit. So I'm almost glad we got out break even where we did, because it may save us from an unnecessary loss. Even though it was a really good setup, and I do still expect price to come up into this level, it doesn't have to right now. So we'll see. But we'll see if NAS gives us something to play off of here. But break even's not bad. It's crazy month for gold. TV's okay. Yeah, it's been it's been a pretty good month for me, but it's just like been Weird month. What a week, bro. Like, for all the shit we've been through this week, it could have just ran to our 101. What would I never do again in trading? Not have a plan. Like, I think not having a system, not having a plan, not knowing what you're doing when you're coming into the markets is the worst thing possible. And again, it's not just about like having like a simple plan. Um, like the decision I just made right now, like I may not have it written down where I will exit prematurely like this. Okay. And again, like I said, this could end up biting me in the ass. But this was just based a call based off the idea that we're seeing exhaustion. We clearly aren't wanting to go higher, at least not yet. And it was a better call to just get out of that chop before price obviously abruptly sold off. And we took an unwanted loss. Obviously, price may end up rounding back up here. It may, and we may have prematurely exited, which we did prematurely exit. Okay. But it was just a matter of a call based off the candle patterns or the idea that price was giving us. But I think the biggest thing is having a system, full complex system of understanding what you're going to do, why you're doing it, and actually have reasoning behind it. Wow, US 30 is ripping. If US 30 wins, guys, and we exit early, uh, I mean, I can't be mad because again, like it was a good call just based off the idea that this is our fourth time attempting here, guys. Okay, our fourth time. Maybe the fourth time's a charm and we actually finally go higher, but again, I'm fully out of this trade, guys. Still thinking of that girl says Nick looks like a backyard again last night. That was the girl that said that? What the fuck? What are your thoughts about gold sells? Someone asked where would I hold my sell position? So I can't say that for sure yet because if I were to enter like gold right now, because this is a decent entry for like a longer term play, I'd probably go for a 1 to 2, maybe this equilibrium of this higher time frame. But again, it could be different if price like comes down here, breaks this, and gives us entry down here. Because if we get an entry within here, obviously our stop loss is way smaller, and we could potentially go for this level is 1.3. 1.2 is here, and we could even go down here for a 1.4. So, and my winner is black or not legacy dashboard. Make a ticket, Svet. Do you know how to make a ticket? I know, it's probably some guy. What mistakes are beginners repeating? Um, not sticking to one strategy. I think that's like definitely one of the biggest issues with a lot of new people is like they'll trade one thing, maybe they'll have a bad week, and because they had a bad week, they're like, "Fuck, this system doesn't work. Let me go watch this guy and learn how he trades." Then they're like, "I like his system. I'm gonna start trading with it." They do good with it, then they start doing bad with it again, and they're like, "This doesn't work," and they switch up. That's the worst thing that you could fucking do in trading. Guarantee that's the worst thing that you can do. Reason being that's the worst thing you can do is just because at the end of the day, like you're basically just continuously resetting yourself. Like I think when it comes to trading a system, you're truly not familiar with that system for like 6 months to a year. After 6 months to a year of trading that system and nothing but that system and getting data, then at that point, okay, if it's not working, make a change. But honestly, it will be most likely working, especially if you're taking the right steps. Okay, reason being is because almost all systems work. Okay, they do, right? I don't want to say it's simple, but it's just finding a pattern that repeats itself on a continuous basis that you can say with genuine confidence that there's probabilities that price should go in your favor at this point in time. Okay. And so how do you make a ticket? So you scroll down right under the AMA stage, like where you enter the AMA stage. If you scroll down a little bit more, it says help desk. You click that help desk, and in there it says open a ticket. Nickelodeon. Gosh. Losses are part of the adventure. Yeah. Well, I'm glad we didn't take a loss here, guys. Obviously, like price just looks like shit now, especially because this is our fourth attempt to try to come up here, and we're again just kind of now coming back down. So honestly, even if price did continue to expand from here, I something else. And again, even if it wins here, like, and you guys exited break even, don't be mad. Okay, I'm not gonna be mad. The reason I'm not gonna be mad, like, yeah, it's like fuck, like, it's been a slow week. This was our first trade during Asia. It would have been nice to win. But at the end of the day, even if this wins, you always have to think of the opposite. The opposite could have been price ranged, and then we just took a crazy fat loss. So as far as Nas is still chopping around here, so nothing. What's your thought on true family trades? Clocks is small minutes. Yeah. What changed your trading results? Journaling. What's your thought? What's your thought on splitting up your risk? Let's say we have a POI. Yeah, like I could do that. Like I could do that in the sense of like, and I have done that before. I did do that before, and that was when I used like the 71% level. Let me click this. So when I have like the 71% level, what I used to do is I would enter half my position at the 50% in case price took off at the 50%. And then I would enter the other 50% if price came down to the 71%. Okay. So therefore, I'm still risking my original amount I would have risked on one singular trade, but it just allows me to where I'm getting in 50% in case price rips higher without me. Okay. In case, or if it does hit my prime level, which is 7% deeper within discount, then at that point, okay, I'm getting in with another position at a better entry. So, and I guess if I were to risk, okay, 101. So, like, let's say I wanted to risk $250 on each trade. I'd be risking $250 to make like 750, a little bit more, like 1,000. Okay, so basically, like 1 to 2. Versus, like, if I were to just wait for this one, I'd probably make more. Gold short from 50% discount. No, I'm not going to short. The reason I'm not going to short yet, and I'll explain to you why, okay, is because right now we're still within this 1 minute bullish leg. So this could have just been a pullback to react back higher. And that's why I want to wait for price to break these lows down here. Okay, that's why I'm not just looking to sell right now. Okay, I like sells due to the idea of the higher time frame. But if you're going to sell, you should be selling with the stop loss all the way up here, just in case price does end up continuing to range higher like that. Okay, just keep that in mind. Make sure everything's closed there. All right, guys, check back US 30, see what it's doing. Let's see if it ended up ripping higher, and it did. So that is what it is. Honestly, it was a very long trade. I didn't expect price to really chop around that much. I mean, it is Asia, so I guess it could be expected. But we're finally ripping. Again, I got out at break even. I'm being fully transparent. I'm not going to say I called this trade. Well, I did call it, but I'm not going to say I won this trade if I didn't win this trade. But if you guys were able to still hold on to this trade, maybe take some partials up here, okay, or you're just holding into these highs up here, great. I wish I was still involved, but nonetheless, we exited just based off the fact that we had too much chop down here. No loss. Yeah, again, we can't complain. I mean, we called a good trade. Price ended up running to about 101, not there just yet. But it was just a lot of chop for us. So we still have, was it today, Wednesday? I'd be forgetting my days, to be honest, guys. I'd be forgetting my days. This buy setup don't look too bad though on gold. Because this is a short-term buy. That's the only reason why I would take this, guys. We broke internal structure. If price is reacting to go higher, it's going to go higher either way. If price is reacting to go higher to facilitate a pullback, to come back lower, we could catch that pullback. Should we take this? It's not a bad trade. Guess what today is? Oh my gosh. Yeah, there's something. We'll potentially look for these quick buys on gold. That I'm not. I do like them. I do like them. The only thing that could stop us from taking this is if price just rips up. Let's see. We'll take 2 trades today if we get the entry opportunity. The reason this is a good trade, guys, again, we have the internal break of these highs. Okay. We obviously had the break here, expansion. We left some imbalance. We had a sweep of these previous lows. So we're just waiting for the tap into the 50%. And I'd love to take these buys. I really hope it doesn't take off a status because I really do want to enter my be involved with these buys. And I'm not going to just enter where it's at right now because we have horrible RR. Why are you buying? So this is how I'm looking at it. We're bullish within the 1 minute. Okay. And truly, we could continue to sell off based off the 5 minute. Okay. But right now we're bullish within the 1 minute. Okay. And that doesn't even necessarily matter because we still haven't hit the equilibrium of this leg, whatever. But if we look deeper at the deeper internal structure, we see that price was bearish here. Okay. Meaning now that price was bearish, we broke some internal lows. Price can have a pullback. So it may be pulling back here to expand lower back into the 50% because obviously price still needs a pullback of this bullish leg. And again, we were looking for a pullback. I wanted to catch a trade like this down into here, but we weren't able to. But I would love to potentially catch the trade back up into here. And even if we did that, I would actually wouldn't mind taking sells too on gold. Because I still do think price will expand down to the 50% based off this bearish internal structure. But I'm going for buys due to the idea that price obviously is flipping internally bullish, and we do need a pullback of this bearish leg. So obviously price, we could get entry here, and price may just rip down because we're so close to the 50%. So that is definitely a possibility there. So just keep that in mind. But as far as the probabilities, again, the probabilities are still in our favor for short-term buys, being that the internal structure flipped bullish. And with that, we can assume that price can facilitate the pullback of this leg here. What did we tap, Steve? The 50%. Did we tapped it? We did tap it on futures. That's the one thing when it comes to I gotta get CME data. I'm just too lazy to go back in there and fucking get it. Someone's saying on CME data we hit it, so that's kind of fucked. It's kind of fucked. Well, we probably won't take this trade then. If it hit it on CME data, then I'm not going to take it because it's just price is coming bouncing back. You can give me your login. Yeah, no. Make you rich overnight. I'm going to be rinsed. All right, guys. Well, I'm out of here. Beautiful trade. Not bad, honestly. Again, we did get taken out of break even. Okay, price did end up still expanding. It's still chopping, though. By the way, what makes you a disciplined trader? Being able to sit, be patient, wait for your setup, and take your setup and do everything you should be doing. Be disciplined. You know, like if you know you're not supposed to be doing something or taking something at a certain time, don't do it. If you get like any trader product comes free to see me, like obviously I can get the data. I'm just too lazy to go in there and cancel the subscription I have and redo it, and it's just like, Nick, how do you do that to see how many contracts to put in a risk the amount you want? Oh, here, this is my calculator. You guys can go ahead and get it here at edgematrixhq.com. Even if you just wanted to try it for a couple days, you can try it and you can cancel it for free. But you come down, you pick futures or forex. We're on futures. I put how much I want to risk, I put my stop loss, and I pick what, obviously, when it comes to futures, what I'm trading. So like if I was trading M and Q and I had a 15-point stop loss, it would tell me how many contracts to risk. Or if I was trading Forex, like you can switch it to Forex and you change these down here as well. And it's also a checklist. So like you can put your system in here as well. So it's just super easy. I don't have to do all the mental work and shit like that. But with that being said, guys, you guys are awesome. I'll see you guys tomorrow, same time, 6:45 p.m. PST. Later.